This episode of Love Lauren is sponsored by Scott Bonnar Fabrication and Parts. Alright, so with those out of the way, get stuck into this Soleplate. There's a hex head on either end essentially. So just start loosening them off. Some of these bolts on the exterior of the machine are a little bit worn away. Just from rubbing up against things, I guess. On the twin, had to cut one of these off because it was just rusted through. It's snug, but it's moving. We'll do the other side next. And lucky last. With the rear roller in place, it's a little bit tricky. Trying to hold these inside bolts in place. I should have probably got my sockets on here. If on the inside, the ring spanner won't fit around that bolt because there's just not enough clearance with the back of the back plate. This one's going to come off. Same on this side. Sounds like the family's home, and it's starting to rain. A little spring washer on there and a nut. Alright, so that's the last of the nuts off of there. I'm just taking off the bottom bolts first. 2. 3. And 4. And with that, should be able to just lift this frame up and grab that Soleplate out from underneath. You can take a look at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws that hold this bottom blade on and the bottom blade itself. Looks like there might even be a bit of life in this blade. There's not too many bad nicks or anything. It's a bit rusty, but might get it sharpened and see how we go. Next bit I'm going to get off of here, I think, is this front roller and the cradle. So again, I've just got my 1/2 inch spanner, and I think I'm just going to start by taking the whole of the cradle assembly off, and maybe we'll do the deck, and lastly tackle that rear roller. I think might do the rear roller first. There we go. If you can see that nut on there, but these ones have had a hard life. They've been the edge is completely worn away on that one. Not much left. And same on this side. basically just the cradle, the arm of the cradle running through the frame. So we might actually need to take the sides of the frame off before this will come off. We could probably spread it open if it was loose. I think that's how I did it on the twin, but we'll see. Okay. Yeah, I think that'll just pop out like so. See if we can get that. That's that nut I was trying to show you. You see how it's that whole facet, those two facets are just ground away from a hard life. So this the shaft on this roller, this one's coming out nice and easily. On the twin I had to give it a good bashing to get that apart. You can see all the dirt and muck coming out of there. So that comes out like that. And we'll just put it back together. So you can see how that T end sort of hooks onto the frame like so. And there's some random assortment of star washers and bolts here, so we'll keep all of that together. Some extra rocks. Our front roller. This one doesn't look too bad, you know. It's not pretty, but it looks alright. Tuck that aside. Getting the rear rollers off is actually quite simple. On either side of the frame there are the three bolts, the 3 hex bolts with a nut on the inside. So finally stopped being lazy and got my dad's old socket set out, which is an Imperial set. This is a 1/2 inch on here, and I've got my 1/2 inch spanner, so it's just a question, now that we've got all the insides cleared out, we can sort of really get in there to that nut on the inside and start loosening these off. And once we get everything apart, it'll be a bit easier to see what's holding all this back roller together. There, on the inside of the frame, there is a little I'm not sure what it's actually called, a little flange that holds the drum bearings in place on either side. And then on the shaft itself there are a couple of little clamps to hold the drums in place, I guess. Now we'll do the same three bolts on this side. It's worth noting as well that the little flange plate on this side, the non-chain side, is adjustable to get your roller level or adjusted with the sole plate of the machine. I'll show you that once we get in there. So again, just going to reach in there and mobilize that hex nut and back it out. cannot for the life of me remember how I did this on the Twin. I think I pulled part of the shaft out first because I had my the woodruff key was jammed in the slot on the drive side. But in this case, because I can, and because I need to anyway, I'm just going to start taking this deck off, and I'll be able to get that I'll be able to get the roller out that way. It's quite simple, just the two bolts holding this side on. And the way it's together at the moment, I'm not sure if this is correct or not. Again, there's just the little spring washer and the bolt. Pop that aside. So it just threads right into the side of that deck. And if you can see it down here, there's the that little bearing cup at the back. Pop this side off next. At this point, we could probably just take the whole machine side off this roller, but just kind of easiest to leave it here for now. So again, 2 more bolts on this side. One of those moments when you need an extra pair of hands. There's our top deck, first view of the underside. You can see these little plates in here where the motor mounts into. I'm not sure if they're original or not, so I'll have to look into that. You can see you've got the clutch fork here and then the 3 little bolts on the back here, so we'll get those off and take that apart a bit later. We'll take off that ID plate as well since it doesn't match the machine.